is dead. Okay, it took them time to tell me, but she was there in the middle of the sitting room, lying there, saying nothing, not talking, having pump in her nose. It was so much. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Shakira and my channel is called Shake My Love. So today I'm going to tell you a story. Many people have been asking me for a while, for so many years. Many people have been asking me why I love my father so much and I don't talk about my mother. I never talk about my mother. Those people who know me, they know me. And people have been asking me so much why I don't like her, why I only love my father. But it's not actually that I don't love her or I don't like her, or it's not like I don't cherish her. She's my mother. There are so many reasons that's why I don't talk about her, and I think I'm going to tell you about that. So actually, the person everyone knows that he is my father. He is not my biological father. Actually, I don't talk about my biological father, but I always talk about my father. I love my father so much, so much. So actually, the person who everyone knows that he is my father, he is not my father. He is my brother. He is my older brother. I love him so much, and I think to me, I don't take him as my brother. To him, I'm his daughter, and to me, he is my father. I'm going to tell you why. I know it's kind of confusing, but I never called him brother. I only called him father, and he never introduced me to anyone as his sister. Never. It has never happened. And I don't know. I think he deserves that. The reason as why I call him, I love him so much. So many, so many, and one day I think everyone will know everything about it. But right now I'm going to tell you why he is my father, yet he is my brother. So first and foremost, I don't have a mother. That is number one. I don't have a mother, and my mother passed on. She's rest in peace. I love her, the fact that she's my mother, but I didn't get a time to know her more. I didn't experience that love, motherly love. So whenever I'm talking about her, I get, and I don't know, I'm just not comfortable talking about her. So when my mother died, I was very young. I was 6 years. I remember only a few moments. I only remember a few moments of us, me and her. They are just few because I was so young, and God took her before I experienced all that you've experienced, you who have godmothers or who have grown with mother. So I didn't experience that love. Even after her death, I didn't get anyone that showed me that motherly love. Of course, I stayed with a lot of people, but they were all disappointing. They were so disappointing. So it took me long to accept that I don't have one. It took me long to accept that my mother is gone, because she died when I was 6. I remember before her death, like my mother died of cancer. I remember she used to go to the hospital. Ng'akomawo yali bamusazeesaze, simanyi ebintu bya cancer, bamulongoosa, bamusimanyi bamukalirira, something like that. So I remember one day she came back and she was in pain. Yali ava mu ddwaliro. And then I came and I hugged her. so hard, and then she shouted out of pain and she pushed me. When she pushed me, I fell down and I started to cry. So she was crying too. She was like, okay, after she apologized, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I'm just telling you a few things that I remember before her death. So after she came and picked me, we went in the house, and then she okay after she showed me her stomach. She was like, mommy's sick, like yaina wants nge ebiwundu tebinaba kuwona. Nangamba muradde kibiki kati namubuuza what happened. Nangamba mbu olubuto baalusazi ne bajjamu emisota, you know that thing abazadde bye bakolanga tebagala tiisa abaana. So she said bansaze, they operated me and they removed snakes, frogs, blah 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 blah. I was so scared. I was like, how? She didn't tell me that. So I realized later that she was suffering from cancer. I remember on her burial they said that, and even the hospital. So one day I visited her in the hospital and they were calling waliwo section y'abantu ba cancer, onosimanya alimu mu chemotherapy, ono ali mu biki. I was young, but I understood everything because I was so close to her. I grew with her. She loved me. She was my mother. Nali mwagala nnyo. So the day before she went to the hospital, her last visit to the hospital, twali waka and nali wonze, and I have two young sisters. I have two young sisters. One was 4 and the other one was 2. So I was the eldest. So I was 6 years. So nga omanyi mu kyalo ebise ebisinga yemulwala simanyi kofu biki wabeerawo remedies, natural remedies. So she started coughing. She was so in pain. She was crying. Like my sisters were crying. I was crying. Everyone was crying. The young one, she's called Harisha, yali agala attention. Kale fine twali aonga tufuna twagala attention. So when I saw my mother in pain, she told me to give her water. I did. And then after she told me she was coughing so much, she told me to bring for her some medicine in the middle of the night. Wali would the watch, you know. We used to stay in Natawulirwa. Great. So yangamba muletele natural remedies omanyi bakiyita kyewamala. The herb is called kyewamala. I don't know how it's called in English. So it was kind of far because by then Natawulirwa nga teli developed like now. So twali eyo natugamba we were not renting, twali waka. So nga nino tambula ekiro ngende muletere because she couldn't move. Nengenda, I don't know how, but I used to be, I was so strong. Even her, she didn't think that I would move out. So nenvayo nentambula nengenda abweru, nali nkumanyi wegguli. So nengenda nenkinoka nenkireeta and I mixed it. I gave her, she drank, and after some hours nalekerawo coughing anyway. So in the morning, no, that very morning I think she noticed something, and then she told me to go and call my uncle Mugandawe. He used to stay near, but not so near. So I had to move in the middle of the night. You remember I was 6 years. So I went, I called my uncle. My uncle wasn't around. Yali tasuzeewe waka. Omukazi we yaliwo, by then tebalina amasimu. So nalina ate okutambula nengenda ewa uncle omulala. So kati twali tubeera Natawulirwa eyo waggulu eyo. Kati ono uncle omulala ate yali abeera kumpi eno. So I moved in the middle of the night. Omanyinga City, I don't know how it happened, but I went and called my other uncle. Fortunately, nemusangayo plus wali abantu abangi. Nemusangayo, they were all scared. Agamba otambudde otya ssaawa zino. I think wazalinga saa musanvu munana, I don't know, but it was so late. Even my mother was scared. Agamba like yali scared. Kyaliwudde bwakiro nnyo, but we needed to save her life. I went and I called my uncle, Parameter Uncle Sinjala. Unfortunately, he died. I think three years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. Namwita nebajja, we came and nebamutwala mu ddwaliro. She was badly off. Bwe twamutuukirako nga she can't even talk. Sorry. She couldn't talk and they took her to the hospital. Bamutwala mu Gwatilo. The hospital is called the Gwatilo. Didi Weyogereri. It's a big hospital. It's a good one. They bamutwala mu ddwaliro. So the next day, kale nabamujjanjabako natandika okwogera. So the next day she requested to see me. Kati waliyo mami wange, kale family yaabwe yali ebeera close nga bali eyo. Remember ye wali ewaabwe, so abasinga nga bazimba eyo Bukyere. So when I went there, she requested to see me, all of us. So mami waf, my junior mom, tried to meet mama mukulu, but she's called Hasfa, Mami Hasfa. She cooked, she prepared her meal, like yali agala kulya, like they're preparing na packing emmere. So what they did, bateka motoka nga omanya abana bateka, and it wasn't my first time to go there, so I knew nti wentula motoka nviramu yogeri ningenda wano. But so they used to do that, nga nali ntwala mu ddwaliro sometimes ngo bayagala tulaba, something like that. Just bateka motoka omutoka ne bamugamba mujjiramu wano ne wano. So when I went there, I think I'm going to film this twice. I think the video is going to be so long. So when I went there, banteka mu motoka nintwala emmere, and when I went there, she hugged me nangamba, "You saved my life, thank you so much. How did you reach there? Blah blah blah." So she was happy. And after I left the hospital, I left. So we went 3, but twala basatu. So when again nasangayo relative waffe omulala. Sorry, I don't want to cry. So when I went there, we found our relative, and then after, sorry about that, I didn't want that to happen. So when after we came back, unfortunately that was our last time to see her talking and smiling and hugging her. We didn't know that, but we thought she was going to come back home because yeah, you get it. Not like the way they took her. So we spent 2 days. Try to radio, so we spent 2 days. That with our uncle. So one man never to, so we used to stay with Mommy Hasfa, our junior mother. So after 2 days, they told me to go to my uncle's place to pick something. But as I was going, like I saw people coming. Like people were coming. There were many, and I didn't know why. So they told me, I was like, "Do we have a party?" Actually, I was even playing. You shower, you're gonna bring something. You go to your uncle and I don't even remember. So I was excited when they told me that. We showered. Nembabuuza Mami Hasfa, tuyina party? Do we have a party? Tugenda sala cake? And then she was crying, and then she was like, "Yes, we are going to do that." You're going to do that. I think she never wanted. I think she thought I wouldn't understand if she told me the truth. I don't know. So as I was sloping, to my uncle's place, nendaba motoka nga nyingi nga zijja. I think there were like 5 cars. My uncle's car, 2 of my uncle's car, and other relatives, and then a funeral car. But by then, I didn't know what a funeral car was. Actually, I think it was an ambulance, one of the two. Kubanga yajje ikaaba. So when I was sloping, waliwo omukyala omu yambuuza kuba ku kyalo bali ba family members, nambuuza is Rahma alive? You understand? After those car nga zijja nze nasigala ngenda. I don't know, bangambye mami akoma, oh, you're going to do a party. Like, I was excited that mommy was coming back. So mchana nambuza, is Rahma alive? Nga sibitegeera. Nambuza mami wo ali mulamu? Ngamba yeah, she's coming back tugenda kukola a party. Mchala n'antunuulira n'agamba tolina ky'omanyi. Like, nga sirina kyemmanyi, nga simanyi na kigambo kufa kyeki. I didn't know what death was. So I went to my uncle and I came back. Nensangayo abantu nga many people crying. And then as I was there standing, my sister, she's called Sharua, she came running, and then she was like, Mommy's back. Understand? Sorry about that. So she came running, and then she was like, Mommy's back. But she's not talking. Bamovi say Mommy's not talking. I want to talk to her. I went in and everyone was crying. And then one of my junior mothers, sorry, I don't know why I filmed this. Sorry. One of my mothers told me, you're not going to see mother again. And I was shocked. I was like, why? Okay, it took them time to tell me, but she was there in the middle of the sitting room, lying there, saying nothing, not talking, having pump in her nose. It was so much, so I was like, I didn't understand that. But then abantu ne batandika okujja nga bangi, and everyone was crying. And I got scared, like, why everyone was crying, why were they crying? Yeah, so they were preparing, people came, they were kati. When I told Gilad I wasn't going to see her again, bali basanze simentana, basemechinya, and they were going to bury her. And then that day, as they were taking her, like, everyone was crying so hard. Everyone was crying. I don't think I cried, but when they were putting her down there, I knew I wasn't going to see her, because they were trying to call her